Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Randacci of Two Vintage Sports Guys, kicking it over to my partner.
Hey, everybody. Paul Gallagher here in Atlanta and getting ready for an interesting week ahead.
Notice how I never tell anybody where I live. It's witness relocation thought process.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't really say much. I talk too much. Well, we all know that, but that's okay.
It's too late. They're already coming for you. All right, news of the day. Let's just recap what had happened with Uconn and Duke. I was in a movie theater, glancing down every now and then. They were up by as many as 19, 15 at half. Trickle, trickle, trickle. Braden Mullins, Uconn, 3-point bomb from 31 feet away. Will go down as the biggest comeback and most shocking NCAA game in a long, long time.
Well, the Boozer brothers tried to get it, out, and they should have just held on to the ball. They fumbled it, got picked up. So I wasn't watching. You're obviously one of those people that keeps their phone on in a movie theater, which should be illegal. Shouldn't be allowed to do that. So,
Dude, I had to go see Project Hail Mary for 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Not familiar.
Not okay, familiar. I had to go to the bathroom 7 times to check the score.
You should time your movie, your days out a little bit better. But yeah, biggest comeback ever. Huge deal. Gets everybody back on. Not a fan of anything, but we'll tune in for the big game on the next weekend.
Well, let's talk about a few things with this first here. So Mullins, who was supposed to be a 3-point aficionado, missed all 4 of his 3-point attempts on Sunday, and the team missed 17 of 18. Mullins was 4 for 23 in the whole tournament, including an 0 for 8 ugly game against Furman. I didn't watch any of that. And but hey, he's 100% a Duke killer, right, with that one shot. And the I don't know if you want to call it funny. Duke will find it funny. He's a 19-year-old freshman. It's not even like he's now finished it up and heading for the NBA.
Well, I think, kids get older and older as they're getting into college, and then they're staying longer and longer. Some of these kids are staying 5 and 6 years. So everything's changed, but good for them. A nice win. We'll see what they can do next. And there's, how it relates to cards is what you want to know, I guess, right? How does that relate to your collection?
You can see my screen, even though they can't. And I'm going to ask for your expertise in a second. When I went to go pull Braylon Mullins' card to see where it is, it took me 20 minutes to figure out. I couldn't find anything in 20 minutes other than he's got a rookie card, number 24, looks like NCAA Futures. But this is it's not from Topps. It's not from what we were talking about. It's from Choice. So why don't you give me a little official, unofficial jargon about that?
Nobody knows who that is or what it is. It's unlicensed. So this is the biggest deal. I think a lot of cards that are unlicensed aren't really worth a whole heck of a lot. So if you like a player and you just want every card that you could possibly get, yeah, it makes sense. I've occasionally bought some cards on Instagram that are autos or whatever, but an unlicensed product is really never going to be worth that much. It's not going to be sought after. The only difference would be maybe entertainment. I mean, there are some companies that do some great autos and great entertainment cards, and I love those. But by and large, you're looking here for one guy because you think his card's going to go up in value or do something and he'll be remembered forever. But 6 months from now, they still talk about Leitner's shot. What was that, 25 years ago?
But Kentucky.
Yeah, they still talk about some shots, and maybe they always will. This kid's got his 15 minutes, and maybe it'll be more than that. But he doesn't have a card. So the card that you're looking at on one of the many vendors is an unlicensed one. So that really means
on eBay it's only $550. So it's
yeah.
But he is a rookie. So if he plays well for the next 3 years, this card could be worth something someday.
It could be worth $650. That's great, Joe. You've sit on that to make your dollar.
$650. I could get a latte for that. Don't oversell it there, Paul.
So we can talk at length more another show about licensed, unlicensed, how it affects the industry. why Topps has so many different sports that are all licensed through them, what's going to happen to Panini, what's going to happen to some other manufacturers, and what has happened to them all. But it's all about licensing and not licensing.
All right, good enough. So we'll put a bow on that, and we got to jump over for a second just because I read it and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm an ex-Jet fan. For those that don't know, I divorced them 5 years ago. It was worth every cent since it went final, and now I could just watch from a distance. It's a thing of beauty. Aaron Glenn, the coach, said that Geno Smith, who they is a rent-a-cop for rent a quarterback for the next year, is going to take the Jets to the promised land. So unless it's I promise to suck once again, it's just like, why would you waste headlines on Geno Smith? You realize he started with the Jets, sucked,
Yes.
left, and now came back to suck again.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think as usual, you're too harsh. You could be a great quarterback, but on the wrong team or on a team with little talent, you're not going to do well. So Geno's a fine average quarterback who did pretty decent for the Seahawks, and then look what happens. You put him on the Raiders, they have no talent. You put him on the Jets, who have less talent. You can't expect miracles from these guys. The promised land is a lovely place, and it's some place that the Jets will never get to. So
So
it's a
there's
highlight
truth.
in March about football, which is as worthless as it can be.
Now that there's truth that you put an average player on a good team, he plays better than if you put him on a bad team. But is there a point when if you're good, regardless of where you are, or is just that not the case?
I don't think that's the case. I think that the team makes the player, especially at the quarterback position. I think it's all about right place, right time, right offense, right chance. Did they put you in too early? Did they wait too long? Yeah, there's so many factors. Yeah, if you're great, you're great. Um, but I do think a lot of it is on
Okay,
timing.
so
So
if I said to you, gun to the head, and I'd like to put it there sometimes,
wow, wow.
Geno Smith's 3 years with Seattle, what do you think his record was?
Well, above 500 or below, I'll go with above 500.
Yep, 27 and 22 through 71 touchdowns and
Pretty
averaged
good.
4,000 passing yards per year. Not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
not bad. But I mean, the Raiders, you sent them there. I think everybody was in a casino rather than that stadium in Vegas
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was just a
They
disaster.
didn't run well. They didn't do anything. But that's where you can talk about cards. Are you going to go with Ashton Genty? Is he going to have a bounce back year? I got a um, a Tops Now card when the Indiana Hoosier quarterback won the title, and is he going to be the number one pick for the Raiders? We'll see. I think he could be, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a little
Number
too
one
early, but
pick?
yeah,
No, they're going to take the Indiana quarterback. I
that's
mean,
what I
that's
just
all.
said. The Hoosiers. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh,
The
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Indiana
yeah, yeah, yeah.
quarterback. I got his Tops
And,
Now
and,
card when it came out.
and in true Jet fashion, with the second pick, they can't even get. Who's the guy that was going to come out? What? Washington,
Yeah,
Washington State.
just take a lineman. That's all. Just take a lineman and then take
No, no,
another
no.
lineman and take another lineman.
Who's the
That's all.
quarterback that? Who's the quarterback that beat the Bulldogs?
I forget. Catch me on a
Uh,
bad day.
that guy was supposed to come out, and then he saw the Jets, and then he went back in his hold like the gopher, like he saw his shadow, and that was
Saw
that.
the Jets and retreated.
And now they got Arch Manning hiding behind like doorways, like not wanting to get drafted by the Jets next year. He's going to pull like Uncle Peyton and tell him ahead
Well,
of time.
that's why the Saints are already throwing it. I think they got Tyler, I can't pronounce his last name at quarterback down there in New Orleans. They would love to get Archie Manning, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Tanking.
All right. So we're going to jump on to baseball here. Why don't you tell me about your two favorite teams facing each other over opening weekend and where you're at?
It's pitching. It's all about pitching. So Phillies got, off to a great start. They won their first game and then got shellacked last night and shellacked over the weekend. But It's interesting, you know, who's who is really what it's going to be. There's the top 5 pitchers yesterday are, Edward Cabrera and Luis Castillo and Lance McCullers and Landon Roop and Chase Burns. I don't know any of them. They all go 5 or 6 innings. They all get about 7 or 8 strikeouts, but it's all pitching. And I think too many teams. It's April. It's cold. You don't really know what you're going to get. So I think it's a little too early to make rash judgments that this team stinks or doesn't stink. But it is all about pitching.
So Jack Leiter struck out 8, right?
Yeah.
Jack, son of who?
Al
Leiter, right? Ex-Met, right there. Ex-Marlin, won his World Series.
That's how you know you're vintage, when you start seeing a lot of sons of players that we grew up rooting for. So that's again another reminder that we're old.
Well, vintage. We're vintage.
Yes, sorry.
Yes,
vintage.
but you're right. And my Mets, the guy who's struggling after his $1 zillion contract, Bo Bichette. We know his father, Dante.
There you go.
And
robbed Bo Bichette. You robbed me. He was coming to Philadelphia. He was on the plane going to Philadelphia, and somehow, some way, we got snookered. But anyway.
We got Uncle Steve Cohen, who's like George Steinbrenner on roids. Like, he's got more money than freaking God, right? So yeah, we'll outbid everybody now. It doesn't mean we'll win anything, but we'll outbid everybody.
But baseball's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to get to know your team, get to know the other players. And I always use baseball cards to kind of help me get to know everybody as well. I get to see their stats on the back. And I feel like a kid again when I can go through and open, like I said on the last show, Topps Heritage is the one I've been opening lately. And it gets me familiar with all of these players that I don't know, because we don't follow sports day to day like we did when we were maybe a little younger and non-vintage.
So if we're talking about the Phillies and your Rangers, and we go with the Rangers, and we'll keep the Met thing alive with Jacob deGrom, and God bless you, Rangers, for taking him off our hands because he was done. How come his card's not more money than it looks to be? If I'm looking at his rookie card here, 2014 Topps Update Baseball, $249. Thought it would be more than that. That's a Gem Mint 10.
He's not a Hall of Famer. I don't know that he's
not a Hall of Famer. Are you kidding?
No, come on. I'd have to look at his numbers, but
back-to-back Cy Young Awards winner. It's one of the greatest pitchers in the last 10 plus years. That's right.
You know how to get me this.
You grow silent there.
Yeah. I'll silently,
Well, we got this one here too. Who's that by?
There you go. It's Topps PSA 10.
What's the
That's
difference?
A nice looking card. Well, there's
Heritage.
Rookie card.
What's the Heritage?
The Heritage. That's the one I always talk about. That's the one that's out there now. I love that card. I think it's great. There's different. I
love how they've been like. I look at some of these cards, and they have the same design. They've gone retro with the design.
Hence the word heritage. They are basically, last year was 1975. This year is 1976, I believe. So they are basically take the format of yesteryears and bring it to life again. Thus, you have the name Heritage. We're going to have to teach you a few things if you're going to continue on this podcast, Joe. I really think you got to do more homework before you show up.
Wow, that's great, Paul. It's too bad nobody will hear all of that once I edit that right out. How's that?
You have the power. You do have
know your audience.
Wonderful.
I'll
Wonderful.
edit that right out. You know what? That was funny enough. Now I'll keep it in.
But we're all learning, right? We're all learning. So Heritage is just that. It brings back the cards, and then Bowman, wonderful product, and then Topps Series 1. And there'll be later Topps Series 2. So that's kind of where we're at. So your guy deGrom, his market is meh, but we'll see. Maybe it takes off when he has another great year.
All right. What about your boy? If I asked you who's your who's your best player on your team that you like? Because it can't be the same guy I have up right now.
No, it's Realmuto and it's Harper. Bryce was clutch. He's had a, bad run at the playoffs the last couple of years. The owner came out and said he's not an elite player, so now he's playing with a little bit chip on his shoulder. But Bryce Harper is the man. Look at that, $16,000 for his rookie auto, 2012. He's been playing baseball for a long time, but that's the man right there. So we'll see.
He's not an elite player now. I thought he was an elite player years ago. He's not an elite player now. 1 to 10. What do you put him? He's about a 6, between a 6 and a 7, which is not bad.
It's a solid 8.
I don't think he's an 8 anymore.
Let's
I think
move on.
that's hometown bias. You saying he's an 8.
Let's move on.
It's like a 6.5. All right.
The Russian judge. You're like the Russian judge.
You're watching what?
I said you're like the Russian judge over there, giving out 6.5s like he's a figure skater and trying to win a medal. But anyway,
I'm glad we're not talking about the Olympics. How do people watch figure skating? I just can't. Are there figure skating cards? I mean, there's got to be cards for everything.
No,
I could buy a deck
no, but there
card,
is.
I'm sure I could buy
What
it.
came in? Speaking of the Olympics, came in the mail was a Topps Now Jack Hughes card. Wasn't the auto? Wasn't the $1 million card that I was hoping for? Nice looking card. Topps Now has a lot of good stuff. When something good happens, they print a card. The Jack Hughes, they printed a lot, so it's not like that's going to take off in market. But Topps Now came in, so that came in the other day. Actually, was the Jack Hughes card. Speaking of the Olympics,
Are there cards with him and any of the gold winning women hockey team?
I did not notice that. And so I do not. Yeah, but there is an Olympic box. Yeah, there is an Olympic set. Still probably can find it in your local card shop, probably around $160 or so. Definitely.
$160 for what?
For a box, for a hobby box.
I gotcha. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our podcast for today. So
babble just a little bit. No, babble just a little bit. I think the important thing is, talking about what you like, what you don't like, getting to find out what kind of hobbyist you are, and we'll go from there.
All right. I have to figure out if I like you after this podcast right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's right.
Fine.
You'll sleep well tonight either way.
Yes.
All right. Well, folks, this is Joe Randacci saying goodbye. Say goodbye from Atlanta, Paul, as they come find you.
Say goodbye, Paul. Bye.
Take care.